Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you guys how to draw a boot. If you're not drawing a boot, you need to go find the other video of how to draw a shoe. But today we're going to be drawing a boot. Excuse me. So the first thing you need to do is decide which direction you want to do it. If you do it this way, it limits how much of the paper you can use. If you do it this way, you can make a lot bigger shoe. First thing you need to do, not going to worry about anything else except making the bottom of the shoe. You're going to make a line going all the way across, not at the very bottom. Leave a gap. And we're going to draw a shoe. Make sure you don't go all the way to the edge or you're not going to be able to make it tall enough. So we drew a line. We are going to cut this line in half or find the halfway mark. I'm going to check it to see if it's actually halfway by using my fingers. Not quite, so I need to move over my line. If you don't like using your fingers because you don't trust it, you can use a pencil or you can use a ruler. I don't like using rulers because it takes too long. Okay, find the halfway mark. After you find the halfway mark, you are going to use this to find every other measurement in the boot. The goal is not to make the shoe the same size as this boot, but to make a bigger version. As you can see, my line is bigger. This line represents the bottom of the shoe, or the sole of the shoe. Now, the next thing we need to do is find the halfway mark on the boot. Someone from another class made a mark right here. You can see the shiny pencil. We need to check if that's really the halfway mark. I like using my fingers because it's quicker. I'd say that's about halfway. Now, after you find the halfway mark, so this one was accurate, we're going to see how long the back of the boot is in comparison to the halfway mark. The way that we do that is we use our fingers and compare it. Now you can see if this represents halfway, the back of this boot is taller. How much taller? Well, we can use our fingers. 1.5 times taller. You can see that in between here and here. 1.5 times taller. Let's do that one more time. Halfway mark. 1.5 times more. So, to do that with our boot we're drawing, we go 1.5, and we make a mark. Again, find our halfway, compare it to the back, go 1.5. I need to make mine a little taller. Good thing I measured twice. So this now is going to be the back of the shoe, and this is going to be the front. Alright, after we find how tall the back of the boot is going to be, we need to find how high the front of the boot is going to be. The way I like to do that is I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to line up the top of the shoe with the back. And I can see how high it goes in the back. So about, I'm going to use my finger right here. If you're not good at eyeballing how high this up is in comparison to the rest, you can measure it and see how many times it goes in. So like 1, 2, 3. So then you know that this toe of the boot goes up 1/3 of the way up the back. A nice way to do that is to break the back of the boot into 3 parts. So 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. 1/3 of the way. If this is 1/3 of the way, we need to line it up with the front. It always needs to be parallel with the bottom of the shoe. So don't draw it at this angle or this angle. And we're going to draw it straight across. Draw it down. And this is where the front of our shoe will live. Like that. So we have the front, we have the back, and the bottom so far. Next we need to find how far the opening of the ankle is. Same thing that we did with the toe. Line it up, see where it compares to your halfway mark. If this is where it lines up, this is where your halfway mark is, you know it's not back here, you know it's over the halfway mark. So I'm gonna make a mark. That's where the opening of my ankle is gonna end. Make sure it's parallel to the back or close enough. And then we can start working on the shapes of our boot. If you look at your boot, it can fit somewhere in there, right? It's a little bit bigger. We need to find the heel of the boot. So the heel of the boot goes up a little bit and slopes down to that halfway mark. So it's not that big of a wedge, so it's going to be really small. I'm going to copy what I see as best I can, and I might change it a little bit later, but there's the wedge of the boot right there. That's what I just drew. Next we need to find the slope of the toe of the boot. It goes up. If we were walking on the ground, the toes are sticking up. So we know we need to draw this shape right here down here. So I'm gonna start somewhere about here. It's hard to draw it and make sure you guys can see. Front of the toes, we're gonna come up this way. Make sure you round things out. Draw what you see. If your shoe goes up in rounds, don't draw a sharp angle. Now, we know that the ankle opens over here. We need to create a slope coming down, just like here. I'm not going to worry about any of these flaps quite yet, just because I can add that in later. So I'm going to create a sloping line that comes up to the opening of the ankle. Then I can take a look. We can move the laces out of the way. You can feel it. It's not a sharp, it's curved. So I'm going to curve. We draw that line straight across. I'm going to curve this part. Same thing over here. I'm going to curve it. Now I need to look at the back of the boot. Look, there's a gap. So I know the back of the boot needs to come in and curve around to the bottom where the heel is. And there's almost no harsh lines when it comes to boots. Even here, it's a soft angle. It goes there. Okay. Now we need to just one last thing. we need to make the heel of the boot. This whole sole and heel of the boot. I think we need to move our wedge down just a little. And we're going to bring this slope comes down. It's a little higher than we thought, so I'm going to adjust it. Don't be afraid to make adjustments. Same thing here. And round it up. Okay? This part also needs to round out a little bit and stick out just a little. Is it perfect? No, but that's okay. This is our rough beginning to drawing a boot. Good luck.